Hey guys, it's me again. This is our 24th time hanging out. Is your everyday handwriting nice? My own handwriting is incredibly atrocious. Back when I was in middle school, we had this English class, and on every exam, there was always a section where we had to write an essay. Because my handwriting was so terrible, I was constantly singled out and criticized by the teacher. The teacher would say that if you had neat handwriting, you'd get extra points on the essay section. But with handwriting as bad as mine, even if the content was great, I'd still be docked points. Because of that, my teacher was always punishing me by making me practice my handwriting. But actually, back when I was in elementary school, I was constantly praised by my teachers for having beautiful handwriting. Sometimes, I'd even help the teacher write on the chalkboard. Like, before class, I'd write down the quiz questions on the board so the teacher could save time during the lesson. I even got chosen to represent my school in a brush calligraphy competition just because my handwriting looked so good. Hearing this, you're probably thinking it's unbelievable. How can a person go from one extreme to the complete opposite? Speaking of which, I did practice calligraphy for a while back in elementary school. At first, it was because my handwriting was terrible, which was the total opposite of my dad, whose handwriting was gorgeous. My dad just couldn't stand it anymore, so he bought me a stack of calligraphy tracing books and made me trace them every single day during school breaks. To be honest, I had zero interest in writing, but under my dad's pressure, I obediently finished all those books. So, here's the question. Did my handwriting actually improve because I practiced with those books? Nope, not at all. Once I went back to school and had to write on my own without tracing, my handwriting was still incredibly ugly. In my eyes, rather than saying I was practicing writing, it was more like I was just drawing. Wherever a stroke was supposed to be in the book, I would just draw a line in that exact spot, and that was it. Later on, my school suddenly announced a brush calligraphy competition for each grade level, so the whole school started practicing. Like I mentioned before, my cousin went to the same elementary school as me, so naturally, she had to practice too. At the time, her dad, my uncle, had hired a private tutor to help her with her daily studies. It just so happened that this tutor knew a bit about brush calligraphy, so he taught her how to write. Since I was living at my grandma's house back then, the tutor just taught me along with my cousin. When he taught us, he would demonstrate by writing a character first, and then break it down point by point, explaining things like brush tips and exactly when to lift, press, or turn the brush. After listening in, I started mimicking what the tutor taught. I intentionally created details that made it look like I had proper brush technique. At the end of the day, I was still just drawing the characters. The only difference was that this time, I was purposefully faking it, mimicking the characteristics of someone who actually knew calligraphy on paper. But despite all that, I was actually praised by everyone around me. The tutor praised me for being naturally gifted. I won first place in my grade, and I even got to represent the school in the district competition. Sounds like a pretty great outcome, right? Well, when I actually went to represent the school, I didn't place at all. After all, a fake is a fake. I didn't have any real understanding of calligraphy, so when I went up against actual pros in a high-level competition, my true colors were instantly exposed. Looking back, I realized that winning first place in that calligraphy competition wasn't because I was naturally gifted, nor was it because my classmates were less capable than me. It was purely because of a gap in resources. We went to a very ordinary elementary school, so most students didn't have access to any sort of professional guidance. If my classmates had received professional tutoring like I did back then, they probably could have written way better than me. So, that competition wasn't just an individual contest, it was really a team sport. You aren't just competing against the person in front of you, you're competing against the resources and connections backing them up. That's all for today's little story. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. I'm Ping, a new YouTuber, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.